Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to show you how easy it is to blend two animations together in Unreal Engine. For some reason, I thought that this was more complicated than it is. It's actually fairly straightforward, and it might be successful for you depending on what you're trying to do. So I'm just going to work with what we have available in Unreal Engine. I'm not going to be importing any other assets. And before we dive into the sequencer, I just wanted to go over a couple shortcut keys that I'm going to be using. So one is Enter adds a keyframe on each track. S adds a transform track if there isn't one, and Control plus A inserts the selected actor into the sequence. So that's one shortcut key I'm going to be using today is Control plus A. There's some older stuff on the internet that shows S adds a keyframe, but it doesn't. It adds a transform track if there isn't one. Enter adds a keyframe now. So if you see that out there, that's older information. So anyway, let's jump into Unreal Engine here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is create a sequence. So I'm just going to come up here and go add level sequence. It's going to ask me where I want it, and I want it right here on the content folder. I'll leave it called new level sequence, and I'll just go save. Takes us right into the sequencer, and notice we're in animation mode as well. Now I don't really want to be in animation mode, so I'm just going to deselect that. I notice I have two sequencers in there. I think one of these is from before, so let me delete that. Let's get an animation. So I'm going to come in here, and we're going to go to characters, mannequin, animations, and we're just going to blend. I'm going to go into the Mani. We're going to blend an idle into a walk in place. So nothing too dramatic. So there is that. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and I'm jump back into the sequencer, and then we're going to select that, and then I'm going to hit Control plus A and see how that brings that into the scene. And notice if I delete the transform track here, and then I come up here and I hit S, click up there and I go S, it brings it back. So S brings it back. That's pretty handy. I don't actually want a keyframe there, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete the control rig body because it's going to get in our way. And we're just going to go ahead and add an animation to this. So we'll come into plus, and we're going to search for an idle animation here. And there's one specifically for Quinn. It's the MF here, MF idle, because this is going to be a short animation. I'm just going to drag this down to there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another animation here. And this is going to be a walk in place. So it's here somewhere. This one right here. So now I've got that animation in here. Now I may want to extend this out a little bit, so I'm going to hit my scroll wheel and zoom out. I'm just going to pull that out a little ways. And then I'm going to just drag this up here and put that on the same track as the other. Now to blend this, let's do this. Let's drag it and put it right next to that one. And then I think we have an option here. If I bring my playhead here, I can just click here and that shortens it up. So let's see what we've got so far. I'll go to the front of the track and I'll hit play. And you notice how it just kind of snaps. It's really abrupt. So depending on the animations that you're working with, you may have to experiment with the settings I'm about to show you. So the first one is, there's three things that we're going to do. So the first thing is we're going to click here on the idle animation. We're going to right click, and we're going to match. Let's just match to the root. And we may have to change it to the pelvis, but see how it goes. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag this over the other clip, pushing it to the left so that there's an overlap there. Now here's a nifty little trick. If you hold down Control and left click up here on the timeline, it'll zoom us in. So I'm going to hold, see that little bar we make? Now it just zoomed us in. So we can see the curve, right? So now if I go back to the beginning and hit play, we can see how it's transitioning. And see, actually that's not bad, right? So what you can do, you can experiment with different curves here because you see the overlap we're getting. If I crossfade, essentially what it is, if I right click here, you'll see we have these options here. And you might want to just experiment with different ones. So this might be a good one here, this quadratic one. And you'll just have to experiment, but you'll notice how it fades out the old animation and then brings on the new animation a lot faster. So it's a little snappier, but not too snappy. So it's a little quicker. But there's like 15 or 20 of them that you can experiment with. And then that's it. That's all you have to do to blend an animation. So if you want to get out of zoom, just hold down Control and then left click and drag the other way. And then we got our full thing back. Then what I can do is I can come to the end here of our new animation, our blended animation. Just come to the end, click there, and now we've got our animation. And I can put it on to looping, and this is what we got. It's not bad at all. It's not a bad transition at all. And you can try that with any number of animations that you have just to get started. But you may have to adjust which bone. It might be the root and the pelvis. You might want to lengthen or shorten this lap time here, this blend time here. And then you may also want to adjust the actual curve on the animation. So that's all I had for today. I hope you found it helpful. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.